you want. Got that curb service. I really got what you need. I got that curb service.
Stop, look, listen. When it come to this, it ain't no competition. Post got the street on lock. I'm tossing hooks like I'm fishing. Sitting at the dock of the bay, talking half in the SWAT. From the deck to the college P. LIT, you with me? Strictly about my Bitney like Sidney Poitier. I'm 75, up to Marietta where my homies stay. As we lay tracks fatter than Shirley Murdoch. Straight to the herbs. And I'm not trying to get 3 stripes like Adidas. I prefer to be on the low, curb serving. And a tinted out bourbon pumping the postman. It ain't nothing. So if you bumping with my niecey, then you real. Postman gon' give it to you something you can feel, and it's drill. And I'm still curb serving.
I got that curb service. I got that curb service. I do. I got that curb service. Yeah. I got that curb service. I do. I got that curb service. Yeah. I got that curb service.
Yes, indeed. Yours truly, Craig B's in the building. My partner in crime will be up momentarily. We're actually getting things started with a next big installment of Curb Service. Welcome to Bootleg's House. The topic of today's show is Women's History Month, which we will be acknowledging all month. This installment will focus in on one of my mentors and a woman who truly deserves to be really acknowledged for her contributions in radio and television. Her name is Cathy Hughes. So tonight, as we start the show, I'll open it up. We'll kind of get everyone in, and we'll get everyone on point. Big ups to my mods that are already in here: Tasha, Ramel, and Jada. Also, Miss Jada, thank you for participating. Also, anyone here, share the room. Also, ping in some of your people to come on in. We're also going to have other individuals that will be in sporadically and also in for the night. So until everyone comes in and individuals want to talk amongst themselves, want to speak, until post comes up, until all of our other individual guests and radio personnel and other individuals come on in, we'll just kind of do our thing until we're on point. Good evening, people on the panel and people in the building. How are you guys doing?
And how you doing?
Fantastic.
Peace.
Peace, what's going on? Thank you for joining, especially Ramel, because I know Ramel, I'm going to start scheduling some rooms earlier time frame, because Ramel is a father and he loves to do his thing with his children, and I can definitely adhere to that, because one channel's got YouTube and one's room and the other one has got Disney on. So I understand the thing. No question about it.
Right.
In the beginning, we're going to talk for individuals that will get the replay. And if you're not in the know who Cathy Hughes is, I suggest you turn on your television or your radio station in your market, especially the DC and the Georgia markets. You guys should definitely tune in, because Radio One's all up and down with conglomerates all across the country and abroad. So the Radio One and Television One brand is a big one, and Cathy Hughes is the proprietor of that brand, and happened to be my boss for years when I was in Atlanta. And her and Alfred Liggins are a very honorable pair. I love them very much. They used to look at me and they would go, "Well, Yeah, he's a little bit um, of a regal guy, and I used to always know why they would call me that, but wondered why they did, because they knew my wild side as well. Because I was a bit of a maverick working in Atlanta in '94 and on. Yeah, they but I do have fond memories of her as well as Alfred and the crew there. So until we get everybody on in the building, we gonna chop it up because you know how they do. They expect clubhouse rooms to go all day. We don't rock like that around here. We don't do the 24-hour joints. And we're not pushing that knife, and we're not pushing that glizzy, whatever. Because boy, I tell you. So that's the business. Tasha, what you cook? No, no, I was part of that tech support. Yeah, I'm here. I was inviting folks into the room. You can chat amongst yourselves freely too. Who me on my other device?
I'm on it. It ain't started yet.
So you are running this on the YouTube joint there. All right. Well, good, good. Yeah. Oh, can
Yeah, it
you
sound good.
ask what's happening? Oh, the individuals that are on YouTube, you can multitask.
We got some folks in there. We got some folks in the chat.
Of course you do. You know,
Now
of
it's
course.
me. Now I said peace.
No
But
question.
yeah, man, like I realized today that I got some groceries. I went and got some groceries today. And I would not have been able to get groceries from Whole Foods if it wasn't for Kathy Hughes. Some groceries I picked because the area in which I went grocery shopping um was torn down after the MLK riots, and it was Kathy Hughes who revitalized the whole area and raised the property value after the riots had pretty much destroyed the property value.
Come on.
Yeah, so
Well,
beautiful thing.
she's been a part of change in the black community for years. I mean, of course,
Yo, I'm telling you.
you know the whole thing here when King was assassinated. There was a movie called what is it? Let's Talk with
Hmm.
what is it? Don Cheadle,
Okay.
and it gives you some very good insight because in actuality, her husband was the individual who ran that station and calmed down a lot of things.
You're not
Um,
talking about Petey Green.
yes, I'm talking about that person exactly.
He was related. He was married to Kathy Hughes.
No, her
Oh, oh,
husband ran the station that Petey worked at.
oh, that was her husband. I can't remember his name.
Okay,
Yeah,
he's a
because
Hughes.
they
She's a
used to.
Liggins. He's a Hughes. Okay.
Yeah, when I first moved out to DC, they used to there was a Petey Green Center or something like that, and they used to tell that story about him and Kathy Hughes and how they had revitalized the city. But it never dawned on me that I'm like right here in the area, like you know what I'm saying.
Right, right.
So but yeah, man, like that's she was the people that she ran across in her lifetime, right? Because even at the beginning, when she was like doing theater in Nebraska, she was one of the people that started. I guess she was like she gave Marlon Brando his first acting role. Did you know that?
No, I wasn't aware of that situation.
Yeah, she gave Marlon Brando his for like he was 17, and he was like I guess he was acting like he was he was wilding out. So they grabbed him up to get him off the streets and put him in an acting role.
Well, that's a tidbit of information that I did not know, but I know now. And you sound very, I don't know what you did to the individuals with your tech situation, but you sound magnificent on the YouTube joint. That is beautiful. Oh, you no
Very
question
powerful.
about it.
Very
And it's
powerful.
very, very powerful. And of course the whole thing could have gone really crazy, but of course Petey Green and the voice that the station had during that time calmed down a lot of things, and then the station was influential in one of the biggest concerts that actually happened in that area to bring peace. And James Brown was, um, I guess you would say, the big star of the whole thing here,
Hmm.
and it was a beautiful thing that it brought back a lot of uh, things to the table for me. And at the time, I wasn't even privy to knowing who I would be working for, and I wasn't, privileged to understanding the contributions that they had brought to the community, and to know that was very powerful within itself, um, because they put together a situation, a scenario that prevented a lot of turmoil after King had gotten assassinated. So,
Man.
um,
Yeah, she was like a very innovative, um and you could tell like her mind, the way that her mind worked, um like in terms of like I mean, let me say this the right way. Like I just find it very interesting, right? Because even when we discussed the sisters at last month, right, with Black History Month, right? Kathy Hughes definitely falls into that category where she was on the cutting edge of so many things, like um that people didn't even understand it, and that many men didn't understand what she was doing and didn't see the vision and ended up kicking themselves afterwards. So it was wild. Like when she was working for Howard, she's the one, like everyone's familiar with the Quiet Storm, right? But
right, right,
that's her brainchild. Like she created that whole format. And when she created the format, it caused such an uproar that there were people like picketing outside the radio station. So Howard, they didn't support the whole thing, right? And when we talk about funding for historically Black university colleges and universities, right? Howard University would have been able to fund itself if they would have backed Kathy Hughes' idea for the
right,
Quiet Storm. They wouldn't have been able to. They would have gotten money from the syndication of the Quiet Storm and all these different radio stations all across the country for
right.
decades. But
I like your
Hindsight
thumbnail.
is 2020. You know what I'm saying?
I like your thumbnail. Yeah, can you put it up to the top, Tasha? Pin it to the top. Your link for the for your thing or for your thumbnail on you go to the dots up top and you pin it to the top of the joint here. Um, no, whatever link, but your thumbnail that you have, um, you can go and pin it to the top of the room. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool too. But yeah, because it's got the picture. That's basically um
Yeah,
another.
I made a whole bunch of them joints, and that one don't fit neither. Are you using the right one?
Well, it fits. It fits. It fits for the YouTube joint, and I mean the
Yeah, I
Facebook
sent a
joint.
Facebook one. I sent one with an aspect ratio for Facebook and Instagram and
Mm.
YouTube. Got it. 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 It's not the picture. It's the link. It's the link. It's the link. I got it. I understand.
Well, I'm not
Yes, that
reading it.
you're.
You read it,
Yes, I
but
believe it's
I would
Creighton.
assume so. Yeah,
I believe it's
Creighton,
Creighton.
Crichton.
And her mother was a jazz singer. I didn't know that. Yeah, her mother was a jazz singer, and when she was younger, like when she was between, I believe, a toddler and 7, she went on the chitlin circuit with her mom. So she ended up having that experience with music, and it was always like her. And I guess she says her mother um in her upbringing kind of like scared her from being a musician. So her rest of her siblings are musicians, but she found her avenue in radio and informational talk radio. So I just think it's just really dope, like how artistic talent manifests itself.
The question about it, and that's why I love you two guys because I knew that you two were, especially Tasha, was going to come in with like my wife would like to say, all of the trivial information. And individuals who will be coming in. I don't know why I didn't get you guys to send the link because we got a lot of sticklers that like links sent to them.
Oh
I don't
yes,
know.
they can hit the
They
link.
like to feel special. You understand?
See
So
what I could. I'm in
it is.
Facebook jail, so I can't do much. Like
Get out of here. Now what you get locked down in Facebook jail for?
I'm in
That's what I wanted to
Facebook
know.
jail for all manner of things. I think this time I made a post for Women's History Month, and in the post I said something like, it was about Tituba, and I said that Tituba. No, this is the 30 days. The 30 days was about Tituba, and I said something like, basically, like I explained how basically Tituba is the black woman who was caught up in the Salem witch trials, right? And basically, these two white girls, uh, whatever was going on with them, what people believe is they faked this whole witch possession, right? And then they blame the possession on Tituba. They said, well, Tituba had us out in the woods doing all kind of shit, whatever, right? So um instead of trying to fight this, like realizing her station in life and her position, like as a slave and a woman, that nobody was going to believe her if she said she didn't do it. She said, yeah, I did it. And then she pointed out a bunch of people in the town and basically set off waters, you know what I'm saying? So I said it sarcastically. I don't remember exactly how I said it, but Facebook didn't like it. So then they told me that because they had a shortage of people to review, because basically it was taken out of context when I tried to dispute it. There's like a legal process through Facebook now. So you can write an appeal to this third party. And I opted not to waste my time doing that shit. So yeah, I was like, I'm not doing all that. But it's hard to tell because I got mad Facebook pages, but those pages have been dead so long that they're not on anybody's timeline. They ain't gonna be on nobody's timeline until I start trolling real hard or making a bunch of posts, and I ain't done that yet. So I gotta go on a whole nother phone to use to get on the account because it's just all weird. So I don't bother with all that. But that's off topic. Every time we get on here, we get off topic. Somebody gonna pop in and be
Oh,
talking
dude,
about
we can we
Facebook
can we
jail.
can we can we can get off topic until we start getting people popping in here. I was
This is
quiet
true.
because I'm over here sharing the lyric. I mean the links
Yeah, I'm
through
sharing.
the
I shared it on my other account, so I'll see what happens.
right. I'm
Sometimes people want to see me talk my ish. Let's see.
oh I do. That's why I love it when you guys come up here.
The other group? Yeah, you wait. What I'm trying to do now, okay, so let me see. This link will go to this phone. Because remember, I gotta go to a whole different phone to go do all this. Hold up, that ain't right. That ain't did it.
Dude, I still haven't heard why the hell you got put in Facebook jail. Oh, well,
Because
not to.
I said something like Tittlebug got back at the white beat at the spoiled little white girls, and then took a whole bunch of white bees down with her. Shout out to her, and then walks away burn free. I said something to that effect. You know what I'm saying? But I was just moved by the fact that personally, I was moved by the fact that throughout the entire witch trial, all these people were burnt at the stake, right? And the black woman who, it would be almost a no-brainer to for her to be tortured and burned at the stake like the rest of these people. She ends up being incarcerated, and then her master refuses to pay the fee for her. So then she ends up someone else comes along and pays her bond fee or whatever, and then she owned by that person, and she pretty much continues her life as she had done before. What's going on, Jaded? Let me see your transcripts, peace.
Right.
Oh shit,
Listen,
what's going on, Gary? Oh
everybody,
my God, I'm off.
send them the link
I'm trying to link off.
the
I
YouTube
gotta send
joint.
a link to myself first. Hold on.
Right, and then everyone can still come up, and you guys can, get your stuff off.
Eardrop
Channel here before we start getting
my
deep.
phone.
Come on, just
Yeah.
download the app.
Okay.
Download it. That way I can talk smack to Gary, because I know Gary wants to get at me because I had to go and buy another big thing of pecan candy, which came in here last week, which I have on the counter, and I dared anyone to touch it
Mm.
because it got eaten. The first batch got eaten. I hit it. I hit it, Tasha. Listen, Tasha, I hit it in the top of the cabinet. They wasn't supposed to go get it. I hit it. Hey, let me
All right,
see your
now.
transcript. What's that?
Okay, now I'm here.
But
How
the
the fuck
kids,
is this?
listen, they go in
Oh
the
shit.
pantry, they find
My
everything, and I
other
do mean
my other
everything I
accounts in
hide,
here.
they find it.
I didn't even peep my other account had popped in for a second.
They're like little basset hounds, little bloodhounds. They find it all.
Mm.
Seriously.
Hold up. Yeah.
See,
In a
and
group.
this is the thing, Tosh. This is like I could go get several
Hey
different
everyone.
types. Hey,
I
what's
finally
going
figured
on,
out the
beautiful?
mute button, how to unmute myself.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, yo, as much as she likes to talk on her thing here, when she gets up here, she's speechless. I'm like, yo, what are we doing here?
I don't know what
But
this is.
anyway,
I drop it in here. I
once
drop
again,
this
welcome to
as
Clubhouse. Welcome to
ooh,
YouTube. Welcome to Facebook. Uh, we're running on all cylinders here. Tonight's show. Well, no. Well, I just dropped the link on Facebook. I didn't want to go through all that other stuff there, but I'm I'm glad that I brought the attention to your situation so that you can change your settings because you sound magnificent on the YouTube with the thing here mixed in. It's beautiful. A1 audio, loving it already. So if you guys are on and you guys want to talk and it'll be part of Tasha's feed, you can jump on up and get into the Treehouse and Bootleg's house. Well, whatever you're doing, you're running what we're doing here on your page, and it sounds like we're still in the building. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. And anyway, yes, indeed. So did you and Pose get together and your start? Thank you. Because if I have to hear that one more time, I'm like, yo, I sent the number up the chain of command. What do you want me to do? You guys need to read your messages. Yeah. But I tell you, Kathy is like the Oprah of radio, and not quite the Oprah of television quite yet, but getting there. But yeah, she's a unique person and a very very intimidating person as well. And I don't mean it in a bad way. She's just as fierce at business when I say that as uh, her comrade, which are mostly men. So with that being said, you have to have a certain uh, character, a certain disposition. I'm not telling none. What I gotta do? What I gotta screenshot it? I did it the last time. I'm terminated. I gotta wait. Listen, if he wants some off-brand BS, I can do that. But when my people do what they do, and what we go buy outside of letting her grandmother or mama make it, this particular woman here does it when she feels like it. And it's like when she does, everybody buys it up because she's got the best. And I would compare that to any gourmet candy shop in France. But if you want some old Publix type BS, Gary, I could get that for you and just ship it to you. Well, yeah, I'm just saying, I could pick that up at the corner store. I could go to the freaking Valero right quick and get some more brand stuff to say McCall candy, bro. But if you want some stuff to made by this woman who yeah, who sit there by the pot and it's like, yo, it's like this stuff has been prayed over and blessed, you know. So I mean, come on, it is what it is. Seriously, jawheads, man. You can't. I don't know. I'm gonna leave that jawhead alone. What did he say? Oh, all right, I appreciate that. BSA1, what's going on? I see it. What it do? Oh God, she dropped. She dropped the clubhouse. I'm proud of you, Chief. That's my dog there. I'm just saying. But this is good for future references and also good for working out uh, any other situation, whatever the case may be. Hmm. Just a statement, or was that what was that? Okay, bam, there it is. Donkashan. Yes, indeed. Welcome to Clubhouse, Bootlegs House, aka Curb Service, aka the Tree House, CCTV. Oh God, Trip C's Tree House, of course. Yes, indeed. So if you guys really want
Oh,
to talk about something until we get into the other subject, we
hey
can
y'all.
bring
Off
um
topic.
right.
The book is done. The book is
All right.
done.
Well, we getting signed copies or what?
Yeah, I gotta go through. I gotta do all the legal shit now. I guess so. You know, but the pictures is done. The words is on the page. It's formatted. I just gotta go do all the legal shit and then figure out how we could do it to see if the page turner thing or like or Dr. NK could do it like reading Rainbow. Oh, I gotta do the cover because it's gonna be by Dr. NK.
Come on, that should be very interesting.
It's gonna be my pen name.
Very. Come on.
You know, I got the Sorry Umar book next.
Wow.
Friends,
Wow.
brothers, sisters, neighbors. All I need your
The
time
sorry
and labor.
Umar book.
I ain't, I ain't, I ain't. All right, so then I shuffle this stuff over to you. I can shuffle this stuff over to you, and I can delete it out because My iCloud is getting quite full of memes. I gotta go clean out my iCloud. I don't know. Trip. Cause I'm doing this stuff on my phone. I gotta go to the eye doctor. That's a whole nother story. That's the one. That's the one.
And for the third time, my son's broken glasses. So when you mention eyeglasses, I gotta go bring him to the doctor. My
Oh,
eyeglasses.
yo, my kids have been good with not breaking their glasses. I get lost glasses, but the lost glasses have been located and found, so they're doing all right with their glasses. I hope I didn't jinx. That makes no sense. That's crazy. That's crazy. I got my glasses coming next week.
How in the hell did you do that? How in
I
the
don't even
hell?
want to get into it because then it'll happen to me.
I'm talking about her flushing the glasses.
Oh
Right.
yeah. I don't be the new joints. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, I'd be upset.
My thing is with my son here, he's got like a graveyard of glasses. He likes
Mm,
to go to sleep with his glasses on, right? So he's always breaking the same freaking side.
mm.
So he has to have his glasses. So when that happens, right now I decided that okay, I'm not gonna rush to go get you some other glasses. I got your Poindexter glasses over here. I got your Revenge of the Nerds glasses over
Rock you with tapes.
no, no, this has a big clump of gorilla glue on the side of it, right? Because I fused this shit together. No, I fused this shit together like with like the bonding, like the
Like
really bonding gorilla glue. You gotta like it comes in
with the
this tube where you
epoxy.
press it down like an epoxy. Yeah, it's an epoxy, it's a bonding epoxy, right? so
Mm, mm.
so he's been going to school for the last 3 days with this big
With the
clump of
glob,
fucking
like
thing
yeah,
on the
you're right.
side of the glob. But it ain't going nowhere though. That motherfucker ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah, that joint don't fold up no more, nothing. It just
it
stays
ain't going
straight.
nowhere. It ain't no thing. It ain't thing. So he's sitting around there, right? And he ups me today, right? He goes, Dad, I got a new girlfriend. I go, like, look at him. I said, oh, what's your point next to glasses and shit? He says, he goes, shit, Dad, I got it like that. You know what I'm saying? I can catch him with my glasses like that. I said, well, that's all you. Son. Do what you do. You do what you do.
Mm,
He thinks he's that little cat from Queen Sugar or whatever because all
mm,
these
mm.
little females love him. I swear to God, I got a problem on my hands with this one here.
I'm still trying to get my son to understand that when the girls annoy you, it's because they like you. And but I'm still trying to teach. I'm still trying to learn that too.
No, but the thing is, I go deeper with him. I go, well, what's the problem, son? What happened? What's the deal with you? Why why she she said she said really, Dad, I didn't like her because she was kind of what was this Mitchell? Well, I forgot what this word was. He said something and I started laughing, right? And he's like, well, I got a new girlfriend because he's telling me about the old one here, the side eyed him or something. He said something that's like she was slick or some type of shit, right? So I go, well, yeah, because you're gonna go through a few of them in your life, son. But you need to look for a decent. You need to be a decent man. You need to, look for one woman. But you're gonna, have several relationships with women, son. But that's not the important thing. To have as many women as possible. But you're gonna have your share. And he's just something else, man, for real, for real. So I'm definitely like getting ready for his
That's a good
acceptance speech.
advice.
Very good advice, very good. And preferably he should find one with the qualities of his mother. If he could do that, he'll be good to go. He'll be fucking straight. All right. Post in the building was popping, son. Pass the link, man. All of your hype polluting ass Negroes in Atlanta, let them know it's popping. Shit. Fuck.
Was happening?
Craig, you gonna invite me as a speaker twice?
Yeah. Well, shit. You got
You know that with
PTR.
what the shit is. You know what the shit is me, right?
That's you. I know that's you. I know that's you. But I mean, right now you're like.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's there, it's there. That's on.
I
That's
knew
my
that was you.
backup phone. That's my backup phone.
I just made you break it up on it anyway. But leave it right there.
Indeed,
That's good.
indeed, indeed. Hey yo, it just be that. It just be like when I run out of my Facebook accounts, I got other Facebook accounts on this phone, so then I activate this phone.
Right.
So
Hey,
I'm
leave
jailed on.
leave with it to go.
I'm in Facebook jail on two accounts. So I'm working on not getting in trouble on the third.
Oh, you like serious, Jay? Man, you
Oh, I'm
talk
on
too
the
much
watch list and all that.
What did you say?
I don't even. I be saying all kind of things.
Now remember, we all on Facebook for real. That's what I'm saying. Like, let me see your transcripts is playing. She bullshit for
I
real. She
upset
got to see
people.
all of. She be
I,
sitting
I,
right
I,
along laughing with him. She be egging him on.
I ruffle feathers, and the feathers get ruffled, and then some people's feathers hit the report button sometimes, and then the report button got hit on me so many times that Facebook just kind of just watches all my posts. So like the way that and I could tell like if it takes a long time for it to post, I'm like they're having a whole meeting about what this means.
What-
I don't know. I'm just like, yo, why doesn't anybody understand me? I don't know. It's just unfortunate. I was a shareholder for a long time. I voted in meetings and everything, but I sold my share. Well, I traded them. I traded them over.
Well, to catch everybody up to speed, we were speaking about Kathy. We gave a brief summary of a little bit of her history. Gave a little bit of her background, a little bit of what she has brought to um, the forefront. We'll get deeper later, but to catch post and let me see your transcripts up. Because I know she's listening on YouTube right now, and everybody else is on YouTube. But
Peace, you two peoples.
that's all the YouTube peoples, especially Gary. Gary is hold on, and then I'm getting a bunch of messages right here. Beach revision, the best revision. What's going on, best revision? Ramel's in the chat doing this thing already. Right.
What up, bootleg?
Yeah, big dog. Chilling, chilling. Talk to me, son.
So it's Women's History Month, and we are celebrating women's history, of course. And one of the great women that we worked with in the past at Radio One was the legendary Kathy Hughes, who is a strong black woman that started her own radio station um, in the DC area and ended up owning several radio stations across the country. And Bootleg and I have had the pleasure of working at the second hip hop radio station in the hip hop history, because Hot 97.5 in New York was the first, and Hot 97 in the ATL was the second. And KK and Bootleg 6 o'clock was the first to really challenge Greg Street and set the tone for the radio station and set it off, man. And the AA ain't never been the same, man. Booty Shake music was the sound of the street, and that's how we was getting down here right there.
Yes, sir. It was a beautiful thing, and we caught the tail end of the glory years of Freaknik. Um, we were in the years where the Goody Mob was as significant as they were in that time, and Outkast and Dungeon Family.
Oh my God.
Uh, of course, we could tell you stories about that. And Too Short when he made his transition um, from the Bay Area to Atlanta, doing his thing there. And a lot of the individuals from New York were making their transition, and Detroit and Chicago was making their transition to Atlanta through dealing with a lot of the heavy hitters from the Detroit area who were coming down building businesses. Uh, like you remember Pops from Nokomis, Coney Island,
Oh yeah,
Murder,
man. Yeah,
Murder
man.
people. Well, Murder is Larry Hoover's nephew, and everybody's tripping because Murder was like on the rap tip doing his thing and down with Short and all them boys and going to school in the AUC and like with this big reputation for being Hoover's nephew and wilding out the whole nine, man. And I mean, it was just a time that it was a catalyst for a lot of what's going on in hip hop right now. And we saw a lot of that from its infancy, even through before we got into the mainstream by listening to KRS-One, listening to book Eric B. and all of the individuals that came along then, the West Coast sound and that Texas sound, with Screw and Famous. It was just something. It was something on point. I'll never forget the time when Pimp C got out of jail. You remember when Pimp C first got out of jail, Post, and he came to Atlanta? He's at the rim shop. That's the first one of the first
Yeah,
spots he stopped
that's where we met Pimp C and Bun B at the rim shop with
at the rim shop,
Phil
son.
and G.
So
G hooked it up, Phil.
right,
Yeah,
right.
man, we
That's
had
what
a
I'm
good
talking about. The Detroit boys. That's all. That's all the Detroit, Chicago crew up there with G and all of them. Because if you think about Too Short's song, and he says G hooked it up. Well, that's G and Phil and all them boys. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get Phil and all them niggas to come on into the building
but here go
one
to here go
Tuesday,
to
Thursday.
here go to plug Murder. You know, first of all, when people was doing jingles and intros to radio shows, that started here with us
Right,
first and foremost. But I'm saying that to say that I got a jingle that we could call "Holla at Your Folks" that Murder killed. Man, I still got that, bruh. I have to pull
man. You
that
need
up.
to pull that out the bag, dude.
Oh my
That's like
god, man, he went
that's
crazy on that.
right, right, right. And Post was my tour guide when we first got to Atlanta. Well, when I say we, I mean KK and I, because I had just gotten married to my first wife there, Joanna. I know you remember. You remember Joanna because her and Millie was Ace Coon Boats.
Yeah, I remember.
KK and I, and his wife, we packed up from a radio station in Monroe, Louisiana. Got hooked up, went out there, and I met Post. And when I met Post, I already knew I knew who I was dealing with. I could tell the energy, and the energy never steered me wrong, and we've been friends ever since. But he was my tour guide. He was the cat that you talk to if you in the radio game in Atlanta, and he's your tour guide because everybody knows him. Everybody from all the labels, all the record stops in the area, because that was big on record stores and all kinds of shit, and in the malls. And this nigga was taking me. He was my unofficial tour guide. The studio wanted to send me with folks with all this other shit, but I had my own little circle, my own little thing that I did because I was the renegade. I was the maverick of the station. I was the I don't, and it bit me in the ass sometimes, but it also set me apart. But Post was the official guy that I wanted him to show me around because I didn't trust a lot of them cats and then like their vibes. And being Post was like a kindred spirit, so we could vibe. I could vibe with this dude, and I learned later on that he would be somebody that really helped me in a time of need. But I'm not going to talk about all that. But yeah, he was the one introducing me to Mike Childs and their crew, and Abernathy and their crew, and this one, this right here, this guy, he's a street dude that everybody knows, and he runs this over here, and go check him out, and go do this here, and go do that there. So we share a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know behind the scenes of that whole A Town bringing it so deaf experience.
So here go
That
here
was
go to
cool.
play. Go, all right, but here go to play bootleg. See, I always kept close to the streets because I'm the barber. Before I got into radio, I hustled through college and high school cutting hair. So from the mayor to the biggest dope dealer, they sitting in my chair. You know what I'm saying? So I already know what's going on. And I grew up in this city. And, these are my people. Mike Childs, that's Uncle Mike. You know what I'm saying? Mike Childs, that was when Club Nicky's and the Gentleman's Club was popping in the A. And of course, Magic City was doing their thing, but it was just different areas with different spots and different clubs that was going on. And that's who was running the city. And the funny thing about it, with Mike Childs was, what's Bill, Bill's cousin? What was the guy that was the mayor at the time?
No, Andrew Young's nephew.
Bill, what was his name? Bill, whatever his name, Bill something. His name was Bill because he's the one that stopped Freaknik, and then we had the fuck Bill t-shirts going on. We like, man, you can't shut Freaknik
I can't
down.
remember his last name, but yeah, that he kind of messed things up. But it really at that point didn't matter to me because I was about done with Freaky.
Yeah, man, that was yeah. Freaknik was a whole nother conversation. But all of those memories and those times was courtesy of the legendary. What's her name?
Kathy Hughes, baby.
Kathy Hughes. And so we want to thank her for. Actually, I eventually moved on. Cause see, Craig and Bootleg and KK, they did the 6 to 10 show. They was on the air. I was the production director. I was actually the first production director of that station. And you remember when Ludacris so Ryan did the morning show.
Right.
Ryan did the morning show, and Ryan didn't want to do his commercials and production, so he sent Chris in there with me, and his new job after he get off the air is to sit with me and make sure all the commercials for the morning show was done. So this is before he was Chris Lover or Ludacris, whatever y'all want to call him. But he kept saying, "Postman, I want to be a rapper. I'm gonna be a rapper. I'm gonna be a good rapper." I'm like, okay. So I said, well, I got this commercial that I got to cut. and they want a jingle. Let me see what you sound like. I said, here go the instrumental. It was the instrumental to Bone Thugs and Harmony. Got to get that money, man. You remember that song? And it was for a
Right,
CPA.
right.
What was that girl's lady's name that worked with us? She used to do taxes and she
Travia.
used to, not Travia. Anyway, I gave him the copy to the commercial. Left him in there with the instrumental. Came back. We laid it down. Next thing you know, people requesting that commercial, and that was the first time he ever rapped on. His voice was on the radio before he started going to the studio and buying his own time. But he was in high school back then with that afro packed down, looking crazy. He was nerdy.
Fact.
It
With that real red hot day. What was that was the Honda Accord, I think it was.
was an
The
Acura,
little red.
wasn't it? Wasn't it
The
Acura?
hot, it was an Acura or a Honda or
A
some
Honda.
good
It
joint.
was. I think that was before he got the Acura, because the Acura was actually a nice car.
No, don't even know. I think it was that gold Acura, but he had the little red looking Honda. It looked like the joint was off of freaking Boys in the Hood. They shot Ricky in because I
Yeah.
had to go pick him up. What they do? He calls me, right, wake me up out of sleep. Yo, bootleg, can you come pick me up? I'm like, yo, pick you up. What's wrong? So I had to come in and without going through all that, but picked him up in this little joint there, and that's when we got cool
Right.
because
But
he
didn't he
didn't
live
expect
around
me to.
didn't he live around the corner in the same apartment complex close to y'all? At one point when
He,
y'all lived out there in where was that, man? What was that? Not Duluth. Man, Dunwoody,
I
like
was
Ashford
I was in
Dunwoody.
Chambly Dunwoody. Yeah, I was in
Dunwoody,
Chambly
yeah.
Dunwoody, and Dunwoody Estates or some shit like that, whatever. Because the station had these people, they paid for them to find us. But yeah, we was out there, and he was not too far from me. So I guess that's why he called me, and he had a spot. I think he had moved to College Park. Then he was in College Park when I went pick him up though, for real.
Oh, okay. That might have been before he moved. Everybody lived in Dunwoody for a second.
Yeah, because that's what. Yeah, the station had some kind of contract with some kind of spot that would get you housing and shit whenever you got out there, whatever. And then they set us up over there. And then I found me another little spot. That's when I went to Stone Mountain. Then eventually got that house in Peachtree City.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
But so the rim shop where we met UGK and some of Biggie, we met Mick. Biggie was there too, Tupac. But one of my favorite rappers that is underrated, the most underrated rapper that's in my top 10. Matter of fact, I want you to tell me what your top 5 greatest of all times is before we leave. But Redman, because
dude,
hey, listen, man, Muddy Waters. Let me holler at you one time about this, bro. When I tell you that, what was the name of Eric Sermon's his little record label? Because it was Redman, Illegal, um, and Keith Murray, and somebody else.
That was a
But
Death Squad.
Death
yeah,
Squad. There we go.
yeah,
Well, see, when Eric Sermon broke up, when EPMD broke up, Eric Sermon moved to Atlanta and opened up the Rim Shop with Greg G. And G was from Detroit. And you remember that song? I work this bond. Hey man, that was with. Is that the one with Too
This
Short?
born, work this born when you
Yes, that was that
yeah.
that was created here in the A, man. Matter of fact, the video was shot right there on that sidewalk, and the rim shop. So,
That was my shit.
right,
bruh, man, that era that started, that was in Atlanta. People think that was from New York. That was down here with
right.
us.
Right there in the rim shop. As a matter of fact, the studio was downstairs. They would sell the rims up top.
Come on,
in
man. The
that studio
studio was in the basement.
downstairs.
We burning, we smoking
Right,
out in the basement,
right. We
man.
go burn out. You know,
A
Jesus like, yo,
fact.
the niggas down
That
there,
was around
Fuego.
the time when Redman dropped Funkorama.
Yes,
Right,
but Muddy
right.
Waters was my joint. Muddy Waters was the shit
Oh
to
yeah.
me.
But you're
Oh
not
my
understanding,
God.
son. I feel you on that. Cause listen, the
Da
station
da
hooked us
da
up.
da da da.
My first interview. The station hooked us up, and Steve was like, "We got some guests coming tonight," and we was still out at the transmitter site,
Oh
and I will
yeah.
explain that later.
That we was in the middle of a cow field before the
In the
station
middle
was.
of freaking field, son, they not understanding. Listen. Let me tell you all that before I tell you all the Red Man story. Listen,
Oh my God, man.
I get to Atlanta. We thinking first of all we gonna get into this posh, studio. We thinking we Ed Lover and Dr. Dre and shit, right? So we get there, we have a meeting with Mary Catherine Sneed, which was the woman who was running the station. Big ups to her. We do a show on her later. Also, we get there, we meet Jerry, we meet Steve, meet Shaka. Shaka is Ludacris's manager right now, but happened to be the music director at the time for the station.
Yeah, that's how he got
So,
on. He was the music director for the first music director for Hot
right, for
97.5.
hot, right. And we meeting and we like, all right, bet. And he goes, well, we're gonna go out to the transmitter site. Now, mind you, KK and I have just bought these two brand new, damn near brand new BMWs, right? You remember the green BMW? He had the white joint.
Oh yeah,
So we don't know. We don't
we
know.
rode to we went to the Million Man March in that BMW.
Right, you're
Do I
right,
remember?
right.
Come on, boy, stop
In the
it.
Green Ghost, in the Green Goblin, but that pull us over like, what you niggas doing in this bit? Who was this fuck? But anyway, we fresh off of Chris BMW joints, man. We flying down the interstate, going like, all right, man, we finna go to the joint. So we like, yo, well, where are the directions? What the hell is where we going? It's like, what the fuck? So after about a 2 hour ride, we finally go off road, and it's like we're taking these two brand new clean BMWs all through the freaking woods and all through this shit here. It's like, okay, we're at the transmitter site. Now we're in the middle of this like 50-acre field. There's nothing else around but cows and bugs and everything else but the transmitter site, and there's another trailer over here. Now we're not in the trailer yet. We ain't even in the trailer yet, Poe. We running the
We in the
station
back of
from
the van.
inside
We
the
in the back of the
transmitter
van.
site.
We in the back of the
Now,
van with Jerry smoking B, man. God.
hey, yo, listen, son. The transmitter site is this big. It looks like this fucking what is these? A silo or some bunker or something, some military bunker with all this equipment and there's all this stuff that's because Atlanta they loop the signal a certain way, but you needed more heavier, extravagant equipment than you do now for radio. So we're not on the air yet. We're in the transmitter site, and there's all this noise of all of this equipment in here running. This like a sounds like an industrial plant somewhere where we're making Teslas or some shit, right? And we're running the station from inside there, but it's just running the music, nothing else, because we're not live on the air yet. We're just running music for like 2 to 3 weeks until we went live. But when we do go live, my first interview in the trailer next door, which they built the studios in, because we were running the station out of the transmitter site. Then we moved over to a trailer that they brought in that had these steel pots that they borrowed from Star. That Mitch Faulkner actually big up to. But listen, Radio One owes their success to Mitch Faulkner because had it not been for Mitch finding those steel pots, they would have had a problem because Steve was in a panic because they was trying to get everything on. They had a deadline and everything was going crazy. And Star had I think two of these steel pots just stored somewhere in the basement somewhere, some shit. and they Mitch talked him out of it because he had to search high and low for this. Now y'all don't know what a steel pot is. I'll let Post explain because that's a dinosaur. I don't even think they have them in the Museum of Modern
Yeah.
Art.
You talking about the mixing board?
The original board that you're going
Yeah,
out
yeah,
on with
yeah,
these
yeah.
big ass knobs on this mother
It
hubba
looked
looking
like you. It looked like you was in a submarine. It had big dials
for
on it.
real.
It didn't even
For
have
real.
sliders or lights on it. But
Nothing.
then, and,
Nothing. No
and
levels on it. No red buttons. None of these. Just these big old knobs that look like they were like look like these big safe tumblers or something or
so
whatever.
basically, what he's saying is, we was out in the middle of this cow field with the antenna, the radio antenna. That's what he's talking about. And at the bottom of the radio antenna, there was before it was a trailer where that was actually nice. But Jerry Smoking B had the transmitter in the back of a van trying to
So y'all was on some UHF type shit. Y'all was like, man,
Running around like some Arabs and
hey,
motherfucking
stuff around here, dude.
and
Like
now
pirate radio.
and now can you believe it? It's been well over 20 something years. I mean, every time they have a birthday bash. Matter of fact, do you remember the first birthday bash, dog? Oh
Yes,
my
I do.
God.
Yes, I do. Well, the first birthday bash was Master P,
Biggie, it was Bad
KRS-One,
Boy,
the
um,
whole Bad Boy
the whole
staff and
Bad Boy
family.
squad, and then
Even Puff. That was when Puff had his arm in this thing. You remember when Puff had broke his arm? He was
oh
still
yeah,
performing though, still
that's
shaking
when
his ass.
that's when Lil Kim looked like Little Kim. That's when Lil Kim looked
Yeah,
like herself.
yeah. When she brought her little stuff in that studio that day, I said, "Come here, girl."
And
But the
then
first,
Master
you know,
P.
listen, the first interview that I had, she surprisingly looked like a little rat, and that was the interview
Yeah,
that I
she
had
didn't
with
look like
Redman.
she looked like
Ooh, y'all, I'm telling y'all this. I'm telling y'all something for what I know. Listen, my first big interview was Redman, Onyx, and Junior Mafia.
Oh man.
Junior Mafia had to perform because Biggie was like, listen, y'all niggas need to start earning your keep. Y'all need to start running it. Because me and Klepto was cool. I loved Klepto. The rest of them niggas and a few others, but my first interview was with Red, and I knew it was Red. Steve's gonna tell me like 10 minutes, 20 minutes prior that you got Redman, you got Onyx, and you got Junior Mafia. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, wait a minute, you gonna tell me that now? But because I got a good weed man on call,
Right. Yeah, we
I
had the
had to,
best. We no, that's because of me. He let and let the
yeah,
truth be known. That's why
right,
they all the rappers wanted to come smoke with me and bootleg because I had
already.
that gas.
Ooh, right. So everybody knew when they came to the station. All right, where Post, where Bootleg at? All right, where they boys at? I don't care who it was, whether if it was from anybody that was coming to the city from Wu Tang, because they had their clothing building over there by Dominique's joint over there, and they
Oh
was
yeah.
moving into town and doing their thing. And then you had ODB. I mean, if you're coming from California, if you're coming from South Louisiana, you coming from New York, you coming from Florida, you coming to Atlanta, and you come into that station, the first two people you go ahead for is Post on myself, especially if you in Atlanta and you like Raheem the Dream, like them boys who like was like ATL stars, and they was trying to make sure that they kept in good. That's the first persons they gonna ask for. Atlanta, like when you talk about Big Oomp and DJ Jelly and all them boys, you know what I'm saying? Naps and just like people who are still trendsetters in the A and doing their thing, because come on,
Legendary DJs. I'm still the
yeah,
voice of DJ Jelly to this day.
right,
To this day, when he play on V103, DJ Jelly.
right, right. And I talked to Jelly the other day. He gave me a call because he's getting into some other stuff. But we'll talk about all that later. But he's jumping into some other formats and doing some other stuff here because he's getting eclectic. All of us are getting eclectic in our older years.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
or
Oh
more
yeah, man.
eclectic, right? I
That
should
was
say.
a lifetime ago, man. When I say that was more than 20 years ago, bro, it seemed I can't believe it, man. It's like time flew. That was a long time ago, bro.
Building. What's up? And man, that's my dog right there. What it do?
Peace, peace.
Ready?
Hey
But
y'all,
y'all,
I'm I'm in a area that my audio is kind of poor, so I'm just dropping in, listening, driving home. Hello everybody.
already. Well, just sit back and enjoy the ride until you do. Enjoy
Okay.
the situation. Oh yes, indeed. But we come together because right now is a whole um all these stories are brought to you courtesy of Kathy Hughes. No question about it. She's inspirational in our development in our careers, and of course, we get a little bit verbally diarrhea, but all of these stories and everything that we're talking about is what the title includes, and we got a lot of we got a lot of stuff to bring to the table, and even Post even has extended his repertoire where he's, can tell you, all right, well, hey, man, I'm on set with Wesley right now, and I'm gonna call you back. You know what I'm saying? Because Eddie over there acting a fool, and actually some of the shit that we need to be putting right now in the movie that they're doing on the back end is funnier than some of the shit in the movie. I'm like, handle your business, dog. Call me back when you get through. You know what I'm saying? So it's all kinds of stuff, and all of that was brought to the table because of Kathy Hughes. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that.
Yo, man. Speaking about the movies, man. I don't know if you guys seen this in the news, but Ryan Coogler, the producer of Black Panther, um, he went to the bank here in Atlanta back in January. He wanted to take like maybe $10,000 to $12,000 out, so he wrote a easy little quick note to the tellers like he wanted, can you be discreet because I don't want people just noticing. I'm getting 10 plus stacks out the bank, and long story short, she called the police on him and talking about this man trying to rob the bank. The police came and locked him up, and they got it straightened out and figured it out. Like, bro, like, do y'all know that that's the producer of Black Panther? He's like, are y'all serious right now? And the teller was a black girl. And so it's all over the news. It was on Entertainment Tonight. It was on the local. It's been on the local news for about a week, man. But that's crazy, man. This man can't even withdraw his own money out the bank without thinking trying to rob the bank.
So it's a sister. It's a sister.
The sister was a teller. The teller was a sister.
That's what I'm saying. It was a sister.
And she
Contribute
then they called the
theory.
police on this nigga. Man. Like, really? Are y'all serious right now?
Well, I've been so wrapped up in the YouTube streets and these clubhouse streets and a few other streets that that story kind of missed me. Are you serious?
I got
Google
one
it.
theory
Google it.
about that.
I'm I'm speechless. I actually would have felt better if you would have told me it was a purple person. But since you told me it was a sister, I'm kind of upset. Really, really upset now. Where they do that at? Seriously. Wow.
Part of the new policy that they made for banking is whenever any clients come in and write notes, it's automatically seen as suspect as a robbery because of what has happened in the past. But the interesting thing is that she should have been directed to speak to a supervisor to have them pull him to the side because I deal with that. I oversee those type of transactions with what I do. So certainly she should have been able to reach out to a supervisor.
Thank you for that insight, Melanin. The Treehouse family is very, very deep and diversified, I see. Hmm. I didn't know, Melanin. Very close. Very close. Very close on that. Wow. Mm, mm, mm. This is Bootleg's house. This is Women's History Month, and we're celebrating Kathy Hughes. A retrospect of what she's done as far as our careers, and a retrospect and insight on her career as well, which in the opening credits, Jaded and Latasha so eloquently gave you some insight on her career and her background in the collegiate areas. I yield to Sister Tasha. What do you
Well,
say for all? I think it was probably something along the lines of we got people that are in the family that we don't. Yes, man. Yes, sir. Post. I saw you flash.
yeah. So I had another opportunity to work at another station. Well, actually, this wasn't a station, but Kathy Hughes also owned the time. Well, I can't say owned the Tom Joyner Morning Show, but Radio One bought TGMS, and wherever Mitch Faulkner went and whatever he did, I always tried to follow him because he's my mentor. He like the Michael Jordan of radio production. And when I was coming up, he was on like 90% of the black radio stations in the country. I'm talking about if you went to any major city from New York to LA to Miami and every city in between, Mitch gonna be on one of them stations in them major city at least. And eventually he put me on the station across the street, the competition. So now we in stereo in most of these stations, cities. So when he became the production director for the Tom Joyner Morning Show, I went out there and visited him, and it was always my dream to work for Tom Joyner. So eventually, Mitch moved back to Atlanta, and I replaced him. And right around that time is when Radio One bought TJMS, and it was just full circle from when Kathy Hughes and them opened up Hot 97 in Atlanta, and now she's a part of this too out in Dallas on the national syndicated front on the number one morning show in the country. And that was like the pinnacle of my experience dealing with Kathy Hughes, and I had an amazing time. I just want to. I'm kind of excited and thankful to her for the opportunity because I would have never experienced something on that level between working local and whatnot. I'm gonna turn my microphone off for a quick second, y'all.
Or go ahead if somebody would like to chime in, because I'm on a mission right now, taking out
I
the garbage.
just I just ordered my contacts, and I just want to say shout out to black women who are willing to offer brothers an opportunity, because that is something that's becoming rare. So shout out to that.
For sure.
Yo, we hear you, brother.
Kathy Hughes gave a lot of brothers opportunities.
Yeah, it's like and because I'm out here in DC, so it's interesting because as I listen to different stories and things like that, there is some type of stigma and hiring in a lot of different industries where it's very difficult for brothers to get into different industries. And being that I have a different perspective just from people I know or whatever, there's a process where they're actively trying not to give brothers opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like that's happening right now, so the fact that there is this legacy, we should definitely big that up. And the fact that all the all the brothers that I've seen, that as I've heard Postman list off some of these names across the country that are familiar to me. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that I also noticed is like brothers ain't take the opportunity and bullshit with it. You know what I'm saying? Brothers took the opportunity and did what they did, and you know what I'm saying, and made a name for themselves and put themselves in positions to give out opportunities themselves. And that's just a dope thing, and that's something that black people should be focusing on doing. Um, Donate to that instead of a fake school. That's all I
That
got.
part. That part. Now, what's you're the Umar expert. Educate
Become
um
an expert.
the clubhouse crew on that.
I mean, all right, I goes 2013. Umar Johnson promised to build a school, and since that point, he may or may not have been taking donations for about 2 years prior to that for different incarnations of the school manifestation. Yes, I know, but I still got to be fair and say may or may not have, because then all of a sudden we got somebody grilling me talking about prove it, then they gonna start talking about my wife again. I don't want to do it. They come out the woodworks when you start talking about people. But
Hey, Tasha ain't got a pit bull for nothing. She locking in on Umar.
but but anyway, right? So since that point, Umar has collected money. Um, his PayPal's was shut down. His different things were shut down. Were about to be shut down and frozen. At the point that the lump sum of this money was going to get frozen, Umar then goes and purchases abandoned buildings, and 3 abandoned buildings in Delaware. Since that point, which was about what, 2019. So yeah, 2019. So since 2019, he's been quote unquote making renovations. The only renovations that have happened is they fixed the roof because there was a hole in it and the city was going to have problems with that. So they fixed the roof, and they replaced one toilet, and they cleaned off some toilets. They did a lot of show work, which amounts to no work. And they painted the gym, and they painted the thing with old paint, but there was no real renovations that were done. The last thing that was supposed to happen was an HVAC, which he alleged that the HVACer took the HVAC and ran off with the HVAC, with his custom made HVAC that cost whatever money. The HVACer ran off with it. So now he's collecting money for the HVAC again and for the taxes, because since he's owned these buildings, he ain't paid a lick of taxes. So the taxes are now up to like upwards of like $100,000 or $200,000 a plus, right? And now he's at the point where the city says pay us $7,000 a month or lose the buildings. Now he is tax exempt now, but he still owes for 2019, 2020, and that Yeah. I mean, he's gonna be tax exempt, but then the tax paper is gonna catch up with him, and then the IRS is gonna become looking for him and stuff like that, and he's probably gonna be barred from getting an EIN again. So he's in that position. He claims to have co-conspirators now. Uh, he's claiming to have a board, but if you check the liar reel, he says that he doesn't have anybody that messes with him professionally or anything else. So we're left with, which is it, Umar? Right. So maybe the board members are him and his various personalities. But yeah, so Umar is stealing, and probably in the next few years, well, not this probably within the year, Umar's gonna lose those buildings. Um yeah, I mean, but he's at $7,000, and I doubt that he makes one of those payments. Like I would be very surprised if Umar makes one. Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
Maybe we'll see. We will see. I'm sure it will be very theatrical, as Umar likes to be.
I'm sure it
Shout,
will be.
shout out to all my Virgo cusp Leos. Hey yo, hey yo, his birthday is the day after mine, right? It's crazy.
That's funny, man. This is the crazy stuff that you hear on this thing, man. Hey, listen, Bootleg, I got to get ready to get up out of here, man. I got some stuff I got to wrap up. But shout out to every Radio One person that ever worked at Radio One and had the opportunity to work on the legendary, the great Kathy Hughes. To all the radio stations in Atlanta that she helped bring about, from Hot 97 to Magic 107.5 to Praise 92.5 or whatever the call letters. Uh, she has had Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, Tom Joyner, all the legendary greats on all her stations just here in Atlanta, not to mention in Dallas and DC and Miami and different cities around the country. There's not, I don't know any black female that has created a radio conglomeration like her. And for Women's History Month, we celebrate the legendary Kathy Hughes. And I land my plane and I holler at y'all next week. Peace and chicken grease. Holla at your boy.
All right, peace, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if anybody else got something that they want to say, we'll let Tasha do the rest of her show, and in the clubhouse in a minute. Right, and there we have it. Well, this has been an installation of curb service. Thank you for coming to Bootleg's house. I appreciate y'all. God bless you, and good night, y'all. Catch the next broadcast immediately following this one right here on CCC V, aka the Treehouse, Trip C's Treehouse, where it's always swanging. And we out here.
Peace.
Nah, we good. We can just let it roll, let it flow, let it roll, baby. Already.